Hi, this is Sandy.
Hi, this is Trina. And today we're coming to you from, well, not so sunny today, but Manteca, California.
It's definitely warm today.
Yes, but not as sunny as it has been. We know that we have come to you several times. We've been plugging into um, these grief talks, and what we'd like to do today is to have you meet us, or at least this segment, we're going to have you meet Sandy. And so you haven't really gotten some things about us. We might have, and we have experienced different just segments of death. But in this case, you're going to meet Sandy and her experience. So I'll just start off by just simply asking you, Sandy, um, how did you meet your grief?
Wow, what a question. It is a hard question to answer, that's for sure. How I met my grief, I would have to start off by saying I feel like there's days where I'm still meeting my grief.
Mm,
But it initially started for me back in 2016 at 3 p.m. on December 13th. I know exactly where I was, I know exactly what I was doing, and I know exactly what time it was. Um, I got a phone call, and that's how I met my grief. The phone call to me was to notify me that my husband, who was my high school sweetheart,
mm,
whom we share two beautiful children with, was no longer with us.
mm,
He had a heart attack in his sleep while he was taking a nap, and our son found him.
mm,
So that is how I met my grief.
mm. And so, Sandy, you want to maybe share just a little bit about some days leading up to or after, you had this incident. You're maybe I'll ask you this. So you get the phone call. You're at work, and then maybe share, just kind of what happens next with us.
Okay, well, let me back up a couple of days prior. Um, we were planning his birthday party because his birthday was going to be on the 16th of December, so just 3 days forward. So we're in this very happy, exciting planning mode. And that all turned around to a different type of planning. When I got the phone call, I then had to compose myself because I'm asking the person on the other line, I don't think I heard you. I don't think I heard you. I don't think I heard you.
Mm,
And they're repeating themselves. And then I had to make the phone call to my daughter, who also worked for my company at the time, and tell her that she lost her father. And as I was trying to make that phone call, my hands physically cramped, and it was as if it was stuck in this position of being paralyzed,
mm,
and my fingers could not make a point to dial the number. I couldn't even take it out of this position. That's how much my body had gone into shock in this moment. And as I'm in this shock, somewhere lost in time, I don't know if it was seconds or minutes, I couldn't tell you. Shortly thereafter, I heard this screeching scream as if someone was sparing their life. It was my daughter trying to reach me, walking towards my office. Well before she got anywhere near my office, I could hear the scream.
mm,
And it was just a constant scream that I could literally feel and hear right now in this moment.
mm,
And that was just, I can't even put into words.
mm,
And we had to
we want to make sure that you all know this is a safe space. But grief is real, and it's real for not just you that may be listening, but it's real for us as well. And so we just want to come to you as organically as we can to have you meet us as we um, tell you how we met our grief.
So we got in the car, and it felt like a lifetime getting there. And I remember it was a very rainy, very overcast, somber day. And I couldn't tell you how I got there. I just remember getting in the car and then arriving. And I arrived to a very chaotic scene. My husband passed away at home, so we had the police out there. You have the detectives out there because it was at home. Lots of people, neighbors, all in the yard. And I remember driving up onto my lawn because I just couldn't even, that was a space, and I just drove up. And it was a horrible scene for me and my family, my children.
So there's a part of, I mean, thank you for just trusting us, not just me, but our friends on that are watching this as well. One of the things that Sandy and I have talked about is there's a piece to grief when you first enter into it. I think you might have said on another tape that it's like an out of body experience that one might have. But there's another piece too when you have what we might call it just a turbulent experience like that, and that is there's also this business side.
Right.
Something else has to be tended to before you even can tend to your own feelings. And so I don't know, can you maybe share some part of what happens next?
Definitely. It's almost, you're in two places at one time. So I'm a mother first. So because I'm a mother first, I didn't have time to focus on me. I have to focus on my children, and I have to make sure my children are okay, and be able to be strong and an example for them, whatever strong is. Then there's the side of, remember, we're planning for a birthday that's going to happen 3 days from that date, and we have all these plans, and so now you're shifting to a different set of plans, and the plan is not on the schedule. It's not on the calendar. It's, what are we talking about? This is nowhere what I had planned. But again, we've talked about plans on previous segments of that calendar, that date, that time, that schedule. Just all goes away, and there's a new plan. And so preparing myself to enter this very unfamiliar world of business of grief, and taking care of all the things, all the logistics of preparing for this now unfortunate situation, and being able to honor this person in the most beautiful way that will be remembered by the loved ones, right? Because that person is gone. So you're doing it in honor of, but you're really, my focus was, I want it to be as beautiful as it can for all of us to be able to have this experience and reflect later of what that day was. And it's already a hard day, so we know that. That's granted. What you do want to know, or what you want to be able to think, that whomever reflects back on that day can at least have some peace with it, and everything around it being peaceful. And that's not magic. You have to plan for that. You have to prep for that. You have to do the business side of it. Insurances that you're going to have to, deal with the funeral home that you, and you're having these discussions and you're having to make all of the decisions. You can have family. I had family there, but ultimately the final decision was on me. Um, the final whatever was going to happen that day was going to need my signature and my approval. So, as much support as I had around me, I still had to make sure that I was in agreement with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very heavy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure that the people that are watching, they might be able to say, I can imagine it being heavy, but I cannot imagine the experience of having to care for so many things at once, so many competing things, be it your emotions, your children, protection of them, and what they're experiencing,
Right.
and then you know to be almost in a posture of the police have to investigate and look into it, and then
Right.
there is this business with the funeral home. So I can only imagine that the wheels are turning. People
Yes.
are expecting and pulling in,
Hmm.
and then there are people who are wanting to know what they can do.
Right.
Um, what I will say though is there is this business side to a
Hmm.
loss that we tend to just like robots go through it.
Right.
Um, we're gonna talk about recovery as well. And I'd like you to meet that side of Sandy, and we'll do it in our next segment where we talk about recovery because we know that there is again the business side. There's this grief that is hurtful, but there's also another side where you have this experience and we
Okay.
pray that you recover. And so Sandy will talk to us in our next segment about her recovery period.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Trina, for allowing me the space to be able to say and share. And it is heavy, and we want you to know that the experience is also real for us too. We
Mm-hmm.
are grief coaches, but we're people who have suffered the pain and have endured the moment that time life changed.
Mm-hmm.
So we just encourage you all to remember that we're on this journey with you as well. And remember, friends, don't forget to visit your lighthouse.
Because it'll help you find your way out of the darkness. Until next time,
We'll meet you again.
yes, goodbye.
Take care.